The fastest way to fail a project is to take ultimate responsibility for its success. And I totally understand you. Your job description, your boss say the same thing. Do whatever it takes to finish the project on time and within budget. First of all, it puts enormous pressure on you as a project manager. Pressure creates fear for your job security. As a result, you make lots of bad decisions to at least delay the moment when everything falls apart. Unfortunately, that's the top reason project managers get fired. They drag the project to the point where they depleted so many resources that there is no way to rescue it. But let me ask you this. Do project managers get ultimate power and resources with ultimate responsibility for the project? You and I know that's not true. Moreover, ask yourself what is more important for project stakeholders. Do they need an expensive scapegoat for all the money they invest? Or do they need a result, even if it's not that perfect? So, if you continue to believe that you are ultimately responsible for project success, you could actually fail even more projects. Instead, you need to accept a slightly different mindset. You are ultimately responsible for applying the best practices of project management, collaboration, and leadership, and you'll share the responsibility for the project outcome. This mindset creates a lot of benefits for project and its success rate. First, you feel confident you did your best and fulfilled your responsibilities. Second, project stakeholders become more engaged and more invested in the project. Third, the project's success becomes a range of possible outcomes, not a single point. Let me give you some examples and explain what I mean. Imagine you are assigned to a critical project. Your boss says you must finish it on time no matter what. But no one has planned anything, so they assume or hope that the project is feasible. It's critical that you always tailor your communication strategy to the feasibility of your project. So in this case, I would do the following. Until I have done a proper feasibility analysis or project planning, I will constantly discuss the risk that we don't have a clear path forward and may miss the deadlines. But let's assume you discover that the project is not feasible, but stakeholders are still pushing you to carry it out. At this point, many project managers make a grave mistake that puts their careers at risk. They assume that all project stakeholders agree that the project has little chances for succeeding. More importantly, they will honor the agreement many months from now. You see, no. Instead, they will assume you accepted the ultimate responsibility for the project and in the long run you failed it. That's why you must continue communicating about the risk of failing the project. You'll create an aggressive project plan with multiple milestones as checkpoints. And next, you'll share the responsibility for the project outcome on every milestone, but you'll do it correctly. First, you accumulate all the proof you generate while planning that reaching the next milestone is unlikely. Second, you'll present the facts from your planning, including task breakdown, estimations, and risks. It should feel like a data-driven analysis. Third, you'll also present 2 or 3 solutions you tried to apply. Do this even if it's a different scheduling or planning approach. Fourth, and it's the most crucial step here, you must provide an alternative solution. Do not leave your problems open-ended. And let me explain this point, because many projects fail precisely because of this. So imagine you reached out to a very busy executive level stakeholder and literally asked them, stop everything, analyze my project, generate the solution and tell me what to do. Obviously, they will never do it. Instead, they will say something like, well, please set up the meeting and let's discuss it with others. And in the meeting, everyone will be defensive and no one will take responsibility for any decision. That's exactly why, instead, you must provide them with alternative solutions that they must to say yes or no to. So, for example, solution number one, we remove an important feature now, but we deliver the rest of the project on time, and we will finish that feature in a follow-up project. Solution number two, we remove a less important feature, but also less complex, and we deliver the rest of the project 2 weeks beyond the deadline. And we will finish that feature in a follow-up project. Solution number three, we add more people to the project, we add incentives and overtime, and we try to do it all. But there is a residual risk that we will still not meet the deadline. So we may miss the deadline and spend extra money. Now, the fifth step is also critical. Your communication should include a clear call to action and directly ask which solution they prefer. You should frame it so that if they don't select one of your solutions, they take the responsibility for their alternative. But now let's increase the difficulty of our example to a real-world case. Let's assume that your stakeholders are not interested in your project. Instead, they spend all their energy covering their backs and making you responsible for the project's failure. In this case, you'll still continue your project, you'll follow the communication strategy we discussed, but now you should also plan out and predict at which point you are likely to run out of budget. Or you are 100% clear you'll miss the deadline by a lot. But you don't stop here. Next, you identify a point of no return. It's a milestone by which you can still implement one of your alternative plans and meet the deadline with a reduced scope. After that, you'll spend all your efforts to prove that key stakeholders need to make a decision before you reach the point of no return. Even if the project fails, you should be able to say, "See, I warned you about this," and you back this up with multiple proofs from formal emails you sent over time. If you lead an unfeasible project, you should not accept that you must find a magical solution or squeeze all the juices from your team. And I hope stakeholders will be happy we tried very hard and did our best. Well, it's also a bad strategy. Instead, you should convince stakeholders to make the best decision to deliver the most value within the given constraints of time and resources. Unfortunately, that's just one of the many stressful challenges project managers must face daily. But what's even worse is that all these challenges are connected. You can't solve one and hope others will disappear. I managed IT projects for 12 years and I faced many of these challenges. That's why I have summarized my insights and solutions in this video. Click the video now and I'll talk to you there.